Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another What If gameplay video. This time we are going to examine what would happen if Bardock was Erratad and not banned. So this is basically going to be if Bardock was under the errata that you could only play this card if your leader was a Goku's Lineage card. You guys might be able to see I'm playing the old set 4 Goku's Lineage leader, the Kid Goku on the front. On the Awakened side, he's the Goku at the end of the Dragon Ball Z series. So the reason I'm playing that leader is because he gives you that like Erratad-esque cycle card draw, and he also helps fill up your drop area for sparking, which this is a Lineage Height of Mastery build, so we do need to have that sparking 7 for Path to Greatness to go into Height of Mastery. And then on the left, my buddy Chris, who is a Veggie professional, is playing Gogeta Veggies. He's playing one of my personal brews that does take a lot of inspiration from Matt Coombs' build. Shout out to him. I'm just playing a couple different cards that he's not playing, a couple different changes to the build, but I really like the leader as a leader for the deck because it gives you a finisher, essentially. One of the things that Veggies just struggle with is playing finishers, and sometimes you have to play Kai in your deck, you have to play big overwhelms that cost 110k in your deck, and they can be a little bit clunky, but I like the leader for the double strike because he does act as a finisher. So I'm able to play less 10k overwhelms, and I'm not playing Champa or Kai in the build at the moment, but I am playing the dual color Gogeta, which is another 110k combo, but it allows you to be more aggressive, especially with Gogeta's untap 1, draw 1 at 5 life. So a little bit about the build. So I'm dropping the Bardock to go into the Geen so I can get that free blocker on board. Now, just seeing the Gogeta leader, I don't necessarily know what I'm playing against, so if I would have known it was Veggies, I probably would have just went for Grandpa turn 1 to not take my own life, but getting the Geen on board is very good, so I'm pretty happy about that. So he's going to go at my leader now with the Gogeta, draw a card, and he's going to go for some crit damage, coming in with the newfound power Son Gohan. I'm going to block that because I don't want to take a crit. At this point, I still don't necessarily know he's playing Veggies, but I can assume that he's playing a red leader with green charge turn 1. And if I see the green charge turn 2, I'm going to know it's probably Veggies. So now we're going back to my turn 2 here. I already have the 2 drop on board, so I can get rid of the Gohan. In this build, I'm playing 4 dependable and only 2 of the Intrepid Dynasty Son Gohan. We learned from Super Shenron that the 2 drop 15k is pretty hard for a lot of decks to out, even in just sitting in active mode. Not a lot of decks are playing early removal for that type of thing, but I do have the option of the Gohan if I need it. So we have that Erratad-esque draw. I know my opponent's playing an aggro deck at this point, or I can at least strongly assume he's playing an aggro deck, so I get rid of the Bardock in my hand. Successor of Hope, going to get some type of Lineage card. It looks like it's going to be a super combo. Having the ability to search a super combo with the Successor of Hope is such a strong play. Like, it really lets me, it really makes me like the Lineage idea, like pure Lineage. And I really do think that Bardock would be a lot more fair and pure if he was restricted to his own archetype. But I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the video. Sorry. Whew. All right, so back to Chris's turn. Coming up on 2 energy, so this is where Veggies tend to explode. But from the looks of his hand, he doesn't have the Kaba, so we're gonna notice that Chris does not have the most optimal hand in the world here, but we're gonna see how he outplays it. That's the thing about this game, is in any game in general that you play, if you don't open the most optimal hand, you got to be able to play out of it. You're going to see in a few turns that I also don't hit my curve exactly. Hint, hint, if you can gather at this point, I don't draw into height exactly on turn 4. So me and Chris both have to play out of relatively kind of bad hands, but more so just like not hitting our curve. So you guys are going to witness that here. So Chris is going for a Trunks just to get some cycle. He's got a red up for a negate, which doesn't impact Path to Greatness, luckily, but it will impact any other plays I try to go for. So leader back at leader, just more of that cycle, more of that draw power. And even with this draw power, I still haven't drawn a Height of Mastery, which is pretty crazy to think about. But at this point, I have 3 negates in my hand, and I'm playing against an aggro deck, so I want to play a little bit more conservatively. He's already at 5 life, so there's no real reason to go too far in. We're going to tap 1, bring out Dependable, essentially bringing in a 15k beater for 1 energy. Put a little bit more pressure on the leader. So Chris is debating what he wants to do here. Does he want to negate? Does he want to out-combo it? I'm pretty sure I just pass on combos here. There's no real reason for me to combo into this attack. Chris is debating on comboing 2 cards here. He must really value that 5 life, but he's just going to awaken on my turn, which isn't the worst thing. The untap 1, draw 1 doesn't necessarily mean you lose a huge tempo swing on your turn if you awaken on your opponent's turn, so it's not the worst thing. So now he's going to get rid of the Trunks to not take the damage. I think Chris wants to stay at 5 because he did open a little bit slower, so not having access to the Kaba immediately on turn 2, he wants to kind of just slow the game down a little bit so he can hopefully get to the Kaba. And now when I play against this game promo leader, you guys are going to see here, I'm going to negate the leader swing just about every time, because that auto double strike means that if he starts pumping super combos into it or 10k combos into it or just big pressure, it means it's a guaranteed 2 damage that I'm probably going to have to take. So you're going to notice that most of the time I'm going to negate the leader swing. Let's see if I do it here or not. So it looks like I passed on negates on this one. Chris debating on if he wants to put pressure in. Oh, sorry, that was at the Goku, not at my leader. My apologies. Wanted to preserve my negates for my life because I know it's going to be a grindier game, so I don't already have access to Height of Mastery. If I had access to Height of Mastery, I probably would have auto-negated because my turn 4 would have been very, very powerful. But I want to save my negates in case this game goes super long. So he drops the Caulifla, puts himself down to 4 life. Now we're going to go Caulifla into lead. I'm going to easily take that so I can get to an awakened state next turn. That 20k beater is a little hard for me to out here, though. 2 free blockers on board. 3 free blockers. Not too much in the face of Height of Mastery, although it does mean that I have to either leave him with a blocker or an energy. So I do like the play by Chris a lot here. Geen is pretty much dead at this point because I don't have any more Bardocks, or at least I don't really want to cast Bardock while I'm at 4 life. So we got that Herdegarn-esque cycle again. I wish I had things to spend energy on. But I'm hoping to draw on Height of Mastery here, which I do not. If I somehow knew I wasn't going to draw on Height of Mastery, I would have probably spent energy on a play and then awakened mid-combo. But I still want to attack on the unawakened side just to get that extra card cycle, right? So that's kind of the theory behind that. Gonna get dependable in here. And I don't want to attack. I don't want to, like, populate the board before I attack because I don't want to lose to anything like an Is That All You've Got or an After Image Technique where those can be kind of multiple attack stopping negates. So make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys sequence properly. One of the biggest parts about Dragon Ball Super is sequencing your attacks properly. So now I'm going to bring out the fully charged Bardock here, or power charged Bardock, sorry. And now I have, I've made good use of my energy before I awaken my leader. So he's going to block. I'm going to draw the card. Draw into another negate. So we're drawing just an incredibly defensive hand, but no Height of Mastery. So luckily it looks like we're going to be able to survive a few turns, but we really want to draw into height sooner rather than later, just to close out the game, because if and when Chris does get into that Kava, it's going to spell a little bit of trouble for me. So once again, yeah, we both did definitely see not the most optimal hands. Like we both saw like fine early game hands. I mean, I guess Chris saw a worse early game hand because he didn't draw Kava, which is his early, and which it's his entire hand in game in general. But yeah, I mean, this is all about how you can outplay a bad hand, and we're both seeing it. I didn't see my win condition, so he's getting more turns to play the game, which we're going to see how Chris kind of outplays this and lives into the situation. Leader coming in at leader. Now this is probably going to be the part where I start negating leader swings. Yeah, I know that Veggies typically don't really have anything that attacks multiple times except for like Kefla. So I do want to just burn through my instant transmissions first, just in case he does drop some type of dual attacker, maybe like Dignity Vegeta, or maybe like the Kefla, because he actually, well, he can't go into it this turn, but he does have the board set up to go into it if he does start charging more reds. And with the way our hands are both looking, this game could go a little bit longer. So he does have the sister attack to help him get more cards now. He's drawing into a lot of these Gogetas though. I'm gonna take one there. I'm pretty comfortable going to 3 life because I have 3 negates in my hand. I don't feel too pressured. Now Chris is debating if he wants to drop this Kai on the board, but he wants to keep the sparking for After Image because at any point if I draw into Height of Mastery, he's going to need the After Image in order to have a chance of stopping it, right? So now we're going to go Caulifla into the Power Charge. I want to save it because I need the extra draw power to hopefully draw into Height of Mastery. Another reason I took that damage going from 4 to 3 is because I was hoping to rip a height off my life, but that just wasn't the case. Bardock going into charge. That card's pretty much dead. At this point, I'm just praying to dig into Height of Mastery. So I'm going to tackle my Legacy Bearer leader. He's going to give 5k to himself and to another battle card. I'm going to give the extra 5k to the Power Charge Bardock. Pretty nice when your leader's automatically at 20k. You can just threaten big battle cards. It's so plus. So at this point, After Image would be a 2-for-1 negate here. He would stop my leader swing and my Power Charge swing, but if he burns it here and I drop the Height of Mastery, he's going to be really regretful, I think. So I understand not wanting to use it. I think that he's debating on using the blocker here, which I do agree with, because at this point, height will just tap them out. So I think it'd be better to get used to them now. Yeah, he's going to block it. I'm going to draw the card. It's going to go to the graveyard. Power charge coming in 20k at Caulifla. Looks like no blocks or negates. And still no height of mastery. So he's going to drop a card to save it. And now we're just going to flood the board with 15Ks. I play a few Geens in the deck, few Geen here to support, just for the extra mill if I ever need it. Because if you don't see like your Successors of Hope, or if you don't, if the game doesn't go long enough to where your leader can just fill the graveyard on its own, you want to just get one good mill off with Geen here to support, and then you can get your Sparking 7 set up for Path to Greatness. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the right energy up to use that Gogeta in his hand. I'm sure he would really like to use it though. Kind of unfortunate that he felt he had to tap out for Sister Attack Kale last turn. So dependable, just for some more pressure. And he knows he's not getting heighted this turn, so I guess he wants to just play defense with the Afterimage technique. Going to decrease the dependable by 10. Activate swap on dependable. Bring in the 3-drop Gohan. I do play 2 Shugesh in this deck, so it is a good Shugesh target. But it's also decent against swap in long grindier games like this. And one thing I'm noticing about the format without Super Shenron, a lot of games are longer and grindier, which I'm a real big fan of. I love it. I love the back and forth trading resources. It's a lot more fun to me than Super Shenron was. So he's just going to burn the 10k combo here. Doesn't want to take a damage. Yeah, he did over combo in that sense, but I totally understand. It looks like he's pretty flooded with 10Ks in his hand. So just burning the energy on my turn when all of his energy is going to restand, I do agree with that combo by Chris. He finally draws into the Kaba. Thank goodness. Looks like he can finally do some things with his hand. And if my hand wasn't so negate heavy, I think he actually would probably seal the deal here with game. But let's see what decisions Chris makes here. So he's going to go top 10 looking for a Caulifla. Kale if he hits it. He does hit both Cauliflas, so he grabs the red one. Now, that's really good, but it looks like you've seen a lot of his Kabas and Sister Attack Kales. So we're going to see if he hits here on the top 7. So it looks like he whiffs on that one, unfortunately. But he does still have a 20k beater. Yeah, if he happened to hit on that Caulifla, that would have been huge. He might even been able to seal the deal there. Because I do only have 1 energy up, so that means the rest of my negates would require life, which would definitely not be super optimal for me. So it looks like he's going to go 20 leader into my leader here. I'm going to burn the negate. Like I said, late game, I don't want to be forced to take any double strikes, especially because it would burn my sparking abilities. Looks like at this point Chris wants to clear my board. So he's going to combo the Gogeta and bring out a Gogeta to pop another card. Really good play here. So now he's threatening a battle card and he's threatening 2 battle cards essentially. He killed one, threatening another one. I think I would have swung that at leader though and just tried to go for game here, because at any point if I do happen to draw on a height of mastery, I think Chris is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Especially because he's able to populate the board with another double striker, and I'm tapped out. I would have had to rely on sparking for my negates. So I think that Chris maybe could have went for game here, but he doesn't have too much combo power in his hand. Doesn't look like he's actually seeing any super combos, which maybe if he saw super combos, he would have actually decided to go for game. That would have been pretty solid. And I do draw into the height of mastery off of the super combo, finally. So now he is going to go double strike at leader. Now I'm playing afraid of any, double strike kind of overwhelms, so I don't negate there, because if I negate there, then I'm susceptible to anything like a Scientist Fu or Dimensional Banisher Fu. So I don't negate, I just burn the resources from my hand, and I keep the negate in case he wants to drop any other type of Scientist Fu or anything like that, because he does have an energy open to play with. It's not going to be defensive energy, so he might be prone to tapping it on my turn, or sorry, on his own turn. So now we're going to be coming into a height of mastery deck on 6 energy, so we can do a lot of things here. Charge the negate because I'm going for game this turn. I want all the combo power in my hand that's possible. Now, he knows that I haven't drawn a height up to this point, so I want to kind of let him think that I haven't drawn into it. Maybe he'll burn a after image technique here, or just burn some cards from his hand. We're going to activate swap on the path. Bring in the height of mastery, tap the energy and the blocker. Leader going in at Gogeta. Automatic 20k, which threatens the battle card, and it gives 5k to height of mastery. So it's a 40k dual attack triple strike. He's at 4 life. Sorry, 3 life. First triple attack, and that's going to be the game. Yeah, a few things there. Chris didn't see any super combos, which is kind of unfortunate. I think if he did, he could have actually went for game there on that previous turn. But yeah, both of us didn't hit our optimal curve as early as we wanted to. So there's a really important component there of playing out of a bad hand. The other thing, though, we played a few games with Bardock kind of acting with the errata instead of the ban, and it seems much more fair and balanced. Like we had plenty of games like that where I didn't hit my curve optimally because you're not playing a leader like Shenron, you're not playing a leader like Super Shenron. You're not playing a leader like Yellow Broly that lets you see a lot more of your deck, that lets you play a lot more aggressively. So you are locked in a little bit more of that height of mastery build, and if you need to go aggressive, you can, because you do have the swap package, obviously. But there's a lot of inoptimal times where you don't want to swing a Bardock. Like against a red deck, I don't want to swing a Bardock to get it popped by After Image. Against a green deck, I don't want to swing a Bardock to get it popped by Shocking Death Ball. So it does seem a lot more fair and balanced in the Lineage deck. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not upset that it's banned. I do kind of wish that I could still play a Lineage deck like this, because I do really like the Lineage concept. I do wish it was a little more archetype restricted. But I think it is pretty fair and balanced within its own archetype. But let me know, are you guys happy with Bardock absolutely gone? Do you guys wish that it was able to be restricted to Lineage? Let me know what you guys think about this video. If you guys want to see more what if gameplay videos, let me know in the comments below. I'll also be trying to get more regular gameplay videos on the channel as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.